This week, I am joined by the spirit of my mentor and one of my favorite humans ever, Dimitris Toteras, who this will be the third recording with Mr. Toteras, and I hope you are enjoying these rare recordings with what not only myself but what many people feel is one of the intellectual giants of the 20th century. Toteras was considered, along with Julian Beck, one of the two principal experimental theater directors of the 20th century. His work, voluminous, unbelievable amount of work that he and his students have performed and produced, and I am only so happy to present his work here in pieces to you, because I really feel that what you're about to hear and what the last two recordings with Toteras have shown you is a man in rare form, a man who can synthesize and present in street-level terms, sometimes even with a lot of vulgarity, thoughts that most of us never really encounter. Toteras is a giant. His personal resume is enormous. He has done and seen everything. And I had the very good fortune to spend quite a bit of time with him a number of years ago. Now, the recording you're about to hear is what he called the virtues and vices of modern man, where Toteras and I, and occasionally my young son, who I was babysitting at the time, would discuss what he felt were the strengths and the flaws of the modern American male, and how that related to dealing with the modern American female. So, without any more of my BS or prologue or anything, let's dive into the crystal clear world of my dear friend and mentor, Dimitris Toteras.
So it's not that I'm advocating a Jewish cause. The point that I'm raising is that the Jew had the concept of linear history well put together, at probably ahead of the Greeks' awareness of cyclicalness, or the apiron, the boundless, the unboundless, the changing. The Jew didn't want to think of a change. He thought of a change, all right, an orderly change into the next generation. And that change takes place in the Jewish thinking of history when the next generation is capable of accepting it. Capable of putting it in its hands and saying, yes, I have it in my hands, I am in control of it, I am now moving along to the next movement. No matter how modern woman goes, the Jewish woman is incorporating it into the system that's been going on for centuries and centuries. So what they do is they incorporate today's problem into their basic fabric and solve it in that manner. What the non-Jew or the non-Greek, matter of fact, the black is incorporating into his history till now. The black is Afro-American, the hyphenated American. Yeah, right. You know what I mean? He's had something in front of him: Greek-American, Afro-American, Jewish-American. And now the African has gone back into his history, and that work, roots.
Oh, Haley's work, sure.
Yes, Haley's work. For a lifetime, that man struggled to write something. And he spent his life in the Coast Guard, writing, and all of a sudden it dawned on him. He wrote so much that he wrote all the bullshit out of himself. And all of a sudden he asked the question of himself, who am I? Where am I at? How did I get here? And he started writing this docudrama. He went there looking for his family. Any black family there could have been his family. You know what I mean? He was a person who was no more African anymore. He was with the white man so long that he became really a white man. He wrote that history like a white man would write history. He didn't put that history down the way the African puts history down. The African puts history down differently than the white man puts down. This man wanted to show Afro history through white man's historical methodologies. Why I raise this is because this is easy to understand when I say that, isn't it? Sure. It's easy to understand. Sure. But what I want to raise is when women try to argue man's position, they use man's arguments.